What if the lights went out tonight? No heaters, no machines, no electricity at all. For most of us, that would feel like disaster. Yet for medieval people, it was simply daily life. They thrived in a world without switches or sockets, building technologies powered only by nature. Stone, wood, clay, and water became the engines of survival, and every invention was born from necessity rather than convenience. These designs were simple, but astonishingly effective, keeping homes warm, food preserved, and communities alive through the harshest winters. Where modern systems collapse without electricity, medieval ones endured without it, proving a resilience that still matters today. In this journey, we uncover 12 forgotten technologies, each a masterpiece of survival, crafted long before the age of wires. The first forgotten technology is the masonry stove, a massive structure of stone or brick that absorbed the heat of a single fire and released it slowly for hours, sometimes days. Unlike modern furnaces that waste energy, these stoves turned every ember into lasting warmth, keeping families alive through the coldest nights. The second is the watermill, a marvel of engineering that transformed the simple flow of rivers into power. Without wires or engines, medieval communities ground grain, saw timber, and even hammered metal, all driven by the endless rhythm of water. Third comes the windmill, rising like a sentinel above the landscape. Harnessing the invisible force of the wind, it provided energy for grinding flour and pumping water, proving that medieval people mastered renewable power centuries before the modern age. And the fourth is log cabin insulation, crafted not with fiberglass or plastic, but with thick timber walls sealed by moss, clay, and careful joinery. These cabins were airtight fortresses against the cold, built with nothing more than natural materials and human skill. The fifth forgotten technology is medieval glassmaking, where artisans used fire and sand to create windows that trapped warmth while letting in light. These panes were crude by modern standards, yet they transformed dark cabins into livable spaces, proving that even fragile glass could be a weapon against the cold. The sixth is leather curing, a process that gave boots, belts, and armor the strength to last for decades. Using tannins from oak bark and natural oils, medieval craftsmen created leather that resisted rot, water, and time, far outlasting the products we wear today. Seventh comes the secret of waterproofing wood, a technique that kept ships afloat and cabins dry for generations. By sealing timber with tar, resin, or boiled oils, they made structures that endured storms and centuries, without a single drop of electricity. And the eighth is the clay oven, a simple dome of earth that stored heat long after the fire had died. Families baked bread, cooked meals, and warmed their homes with nothing more than clay and flame, a design so efficient that it still inspires modern off-grid living. The ninth forgotten technology is the aqueduct, a marvel of stone and gravity that carried fresh water across miles without pumps or wires. These towering arches and underground channels sustained entire cities, proving that medieval engineers mastered hydraulics long before electricity. The 10th is the grain storage pit, a simple yet ingenious design that preserved harvests through the winter. Dug deep into the earth and sealed with clay, these pits kept grain cool, dry, and safe from pests, ensuring survival when food was scarce. The 11th is wool layering, a clothing technique that trapped air between fibers to create insulation as effective as modern synthetics. Shepherds and villagers endured brutal cold wrapped in garments that breathed with the body, a natural shield against frost. And the 12th is the community clay oven, built at the heart of villages where families gathered to bake bread and share warmth. These ovens stored heat for hours, turning fire into a communal resource that fed both body and spirit. When we look at our modern world, it becomes clear how fragile it truly is. A single blackout can silence entire cities, shutting down heat, water, and food within hours. Our comfort depends on wires, grids, and machines that fail the moment electricity disappears. Medieval people, by contrast, built systems that endured without power. Their stoves held warmth for days, their mills turned endlessly with water and wind, and their clothing and shelters resisted the cold with nothing but natural materials. Where we rely on abundance, they relied on wisdom. Their technologies were not luxuries, but lifelines, crafted to survive in a world where failure meant death. This resilience is a reminder that progress does not always mean strength. Sometimes, the solutions of the past are sturdier than the inventions of the present.